Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today we're going to be firing up another Villiger. I know we just had Renee from Villiger on our last episode, and he is having a wonderful time in Las Vegas at PCA 2023 right now. Will admit I have a really serious case of FOMO right now going on, looking at all the posts and activity and whatnot from PCA, but there's always next year. But we'll get into that in a minute. But Renee was nice enough, since he and I spoke, to get a little care package sent to me. And so today I will be firing up the Villiger TAA Exclusive 2023, featuring this really great kind of green and gold band going on there, both at the regular band as well as the foot band there. It's a really fancy looking cigar. Just really, it's sharp. It's just absolutely sharp with that red, gold, and white Villiger, at the top, and then that green and gold on the TAA Exclusive there. But he also sent a little bit of information about said cigar. So this, as we detailed, is the Villiger TAA Exclusive 2023. This Toro box press 6.25 by 52. It's a tasty, medium-bodied cigar showing nutty, coffee-like character with impressions of almond and leather, along with hints of cinnamon. It's made by Aganorsa Leaf in Nicaragua, and the wrapper is a Nicaraguan Habano with a Nicaraguan binder and filler. Looks like MSRP on this guy is about $15, and comes in a box of 20. So if you have a TAA member shop near you, then you may very well be able to go into that brick and mortar and pick this guy up. It was limited to 500 boxes, so I don't know what's available out there in the world. But, if you're near a TAA shop, I'd look into it, because I have been really happy with the 2020, 2021, and 2022 offerings from Villiger with TAA, so I'm looking forward to trying this one for a couple different reasons, not the least of which is that I really enjoy the TAA exclusives that Villiger puts out, but the fact that it's made at Aganorsa Leaf, I really enjoy Aganorsa Leaf cigars too, so I'm kind of like sitting here like, this could be a real win. As I sit here in the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, I am really pissed off at myself that I did not bring my salt gun out here, because the amount of flies buzzing around is significant. I've sat out here the last handful of days over the last week, and I've managed to take out quite a few of them, but evidently they just keep coming back. So anyway, if you're watching on the YouTube, you're going to see me swatting flies throughout the episode. But hopefully maybe the smoke kind of gets them cleared up a little bit. So why don't we go ahead and get this guy lit up? And the official cutting is brought to you by Dan the Man Ponder at Riverman Cigar Company. Dan the Man Ponder, guys, he's working with his reps, putting in his PCA orders. He did not go to PCA, but he's putting in the orders, bringing in the new cigars. So there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff to try there at Riverman Cigar Company after the trade show. However, I would imagine, as much stuff is coming in, guys, there's already a lot of great stuff there that you're going to want to give a shot to. So if you're in the St. Louis area, swing by Riverman Cigar Company. Take a look in the humidor. He's got the walk-in. He's got all the cabinets. There's all kinds of great cigars there you're going to want to give a shot to. He's got the lounge. He's got the 1,500 square foot covered patio. It's a great day for that covered patio here today in St. Louis. It is a gorgeous day weather-wise, and I think we're going to have some gorgeous weather the next couple days. later half of this week is looking a little dicey, and I'm a little pissy about that, and I'll get into that in a minute too. But anyway, such is life. But yeah, it's a great day to sit outside at Dan the Man Ponder's place and fire up a cigar. But if you're not in the St. Louis area and you don't think you're going to be in the St. Louis area anytime soon, he does do mail order, so you can give him a call, still support a brick and mortar lounge, and get your cigars ordered to you. And guys, here's the thing. I hear people all the time talk about how the internet's more, cheaper than the brick and mortar. And, that's true. I on the surface, that's true. But, there's aspects of the brick and mortar you have to look into. There's the fact that, he's got more taxes he's got to contend with. He's got, other expenses that he's got to contend with. And I suppose it's one of those things where if you want to look at it this way, even if you don't care about all that, and you just, you're just wanting a good reason as to why you should support a brick and mortar over buying online. I will say that, guys, we're coming into a time where we're more and more limited as to where we can smoke. And, we need those little oases, those little last refuge of the damned that are out there. So just think of it this way. If you're an online shopper and you buy your cigars online, if let's say you took half of your purchases that you would normally do online, just half. Not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. Just do half and apply that to a brick and mortar. Just reach out to a brick and mortar, be it Riverman. Obviously, this being the Riverman ad, I would prefer it to be Riverman, but Riverman or whatever. And you just did half of your regular ordering. Instead of doing it online, you're doing it with a brick and mortar. That the impact of that is huge. It's absolutely huge. And guys, you're gonna be thankful one day when everybody's telling you can't smoke here. You're gonna be thankful that those brick and mortars are out there that are telling you come on in and have a cigar. So anyway, with that, Riverman Cigar Company, Crestwood, Missouri. It's time I go ahead and cut my cigar because I am looking forward to that. And I just kind of nuked myself. I apparently still had some schmuckus in the cutter. I didn't clear it. Anyway, all right, gonna give the Villiger TAA 2023 a cold draw here, and see what is what. Ooh, it's tasty. There's a sweetness to it, almost like a molassesy kind of thing going on. Let me look at their flavor notes just to see. Nutty and coffee and almond and leather. Boy, I don't get. Maybe a nutty. Yeah, it's like a sweet nut. Anyway, that'll get clipped at some point, I'm sure. Oh, Jesus, that just burned. Anyway, I'm gonna fire up my cigar here, but man, the wind must be catching my flame or something. It's like hitting the old fingertip there. That was highly unfortunate there. Wind must have caught my flame. Anyway, so wow. Cinnamon and spice off of the retrohale, off the foot retrohale. No less. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This thing has got a little bit of oomph right off the bat. Currently the TAA 2020, which I believe Villiger partnered with EP Carrillo to do, is my favorite. However, I am going to see what I think of this one because the strength level right off the bat on this guy is making me really, really happy. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, now that we have gotten into that, So today I'm going to address a couple of, I got a couple of housekeeping things I want to take care of. There was a big, there was an announcement out of PCA that I want to take care of, and I want to talk about what our PCA coverage later this week is going to look like. And then I have one piece of in the world news that I want to touch on, and then we'll get into the kind of segments and that sort of thing. But right off the bat, I haven't addressed it before now. It did come up in the group chat associated with the Cigar Pulpit Parishioners group page. And I figured, it's time I finally just kind of address it and just deal with it so that everybody's aware. So for those of you who are not in the Pulpit Parishioners group chat on Facebook, it was asked where Gator has been. And for a lot of reasons, I'm not going to get into details. I'm just going to say that Gator is, he's done. We have the Gator and the Pulpit have parted ways, and he has recorded his last episode, and that's why for the last, dear God, the neighbors, for the last month and a half or so, I guess 2 months now, right? 2 months? It's been about 2 months. For the last month and a half, 2 months, I've been doing this on my own. Obviously, episodes by myself are not, they're not ideal for a lot of reasons. Not the least of which I'm sure is that, it's not as interesting listening to just one person. I understand that. I respect that. I'm just trying to give you guys some original content, even if it is just me. I'm trying to give you guys original content. Like I said, not going to get into any of the specifics. But I did just want to finally clear the air and say that, kill the mystery. He's done. And from here on, it's going to be me with a rotating cast of second chairs and that sort of thing. It's not unheard of. Many radio shows, other podcasts, things of that nature, they have characters and personalities cycle in and out. It happens. Life happens. I guess that's what it boils down to is life happens, and you just kind of got to suck it up and deal with it. Does that mean that the show is going to take on a slightly different personality? Yes, it will. I would say that since his last show, I've been a little bit more cigar focused. There's some of the usual brand of wackiness that comes through when certain folks are on. Trey Mac springs to mind as an example, but it's just one of those situations where obviously the show is going to take on the personality of the people that are on it, and so it's just kind of be what it is. So, it's what it is. I'm not going to get into it anymore. So, anyway, just wanted to finally say that so that everybody can stop, wondering what's what. So, the next bit of news, it's a little happier news, a little more cheery, a little more joyful. Sorry. Since I'm doing this solo, you got to bear with me as I take puffs on my cigar. PulpitFest, the third annual PulpitFest. Kind of odd to be talking about this right off the heels of the previous news item, but the show must go on. Third annual PulpitFest is coming up, and I wanted to announce dates. I announced this on social media the other day, but Friday, September 22nd, and Saturday, September 23rd is the third annual PulpitFest. And guys, I'm working to figure out a nice, fun weekend for everybody. Typically, the way this works is on Friday, we will meet up at Top Shooters or somewhere. I need to talk to Top Shooters and confirm that we're cool with that date. But, we have to be cool with that date because that's the date that, I can do this. Things get busy in the month of September and especially the month of October get really busy. So it's one of those things that it had to be that weekend. So anyway, Friday, September 22nd, more than likely we will converge at Top Shooters, and all that tends to be is just a nice big get-together. They've got a great fire pit. They've got a great outdoor patio. Weather at that time of year will be fantastic, and we could sit outside. We can have cigars. We can have drinks. We can have food, and we can just enjoy each other's company, kind of get to know everybody who rolls into town. Last year we had about 35 or so people roll through. I'm hoping this year we can have about the same or more. Obviously, there were some people last year that couldn't make it. That I would, be great to see. Lupe, looking at you, buddy. You're one of the ones that didn't make it last year. That you've made it prior. So I'm hoping that this year we'll have a number of people roll in for Pulpit Fest, so that we can get things started off right on Friday. Saturday, plans are up in the air. I'm trying to figure all this out. So normally Pulpit Fest coordinates with Dan Ponder's annual event at the Riverman Cigar Company. However, due to a number of, there's a lot of moving parts here, and due to a lot of those moving parts, Dan is having to have his annual party on Saturday, September 30th. Well, I had various reasons why Pulpit Fest could not be that weekend. I'm not, it's not important, but I had reasons why it couldn't be that weekend. And so because of that, we're doing Pulpit Fest the weekend prior to Dan's event, which would be the following Saturday. But I still wanted to, give all the listeners that come into town the opportunity to go by Dan's place, support Dan, check out the humidor, see the great stuff he's got in. And so I know part of the plan on Saturday is to swing by Riverman and, have everybody have a chance to check the place out, grab some cigars, and support Dan, because he's been a great supporter of the podcast. And, I think it would only be right and fair for everybody to go by there and check that out. I'm working on a few other things. Nothing I'm really ready to announce on the show just yet, but hoping that we can get some fun activities scheduled for that Saturday. So bottom line, we're going to have some fun. It's going to be a good time. You're going to meet other listeners. So if you're looking to come in for Pulpit Fest, it is Friday, September 22nd, Saturday, September 23rd. If you're coming into town and you're needing a hotel, I would say that you may consider hotels in Columbia, Illinois. There's a nice Hampton Inn there. If you go across the river to Missouri there, you're looking at South County area. Arnold maybe wouldn't be a horrible location for a hotel if you're looking to get a hotel, because it's kind of strategically located in between Top Shooters and Riverman and some other places that are around. Arnold maybe wouldn't be a bad place to hit up for a hotel. But the bottom line, and there's hotels there, is what I'm saying, and it's right off the interstate, right off Interstate 55. So that wouldn't be a bad place to look for a hotel either. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, anybody has any hey, I'm looking at this hotel, is it sketchy? Can you let me know? Just send me a DM either through Instagram or hit me up on the Pulpit Parishioners group, or send me an email at nick at cigarpulpit.com. Sorry, I was giving out my newspaper email address there. nick@cigarpulpit.com, and I can answer any questions you have. But hopefully we get to see a lot of you there at Pulpit Fest, September 22nd and September 23rd. And I don't want to hear from anybody going to the New England Cigar Festival that, they couldn't make it because, it doesn't correspond with that weekend. So you can do both. You can literally hit my event one weekend and then go to the New England Cigar Festival the next weekend. And I'm probably going to have free cigars for you guys as well. Again, need to get some few things in line, planning being what it is. But I know in previous years we've had cigars from United. We've had cigars from Aladino. Obviously, we've since brought on Villiger. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of great cigars we have for everybody at this year's Pulpit Fest. Now, speaking of great cigars, I'm digging the hell out of this Villiger TAA 2023. So far, I'm not very far into it. I've been talking a lot, obviously. But the smoke output on it's been really great. The draw on it's fantastic. I mean, you can tell this was a quality-made cigar. And knowing that it comes from Aganorsa leaf, that tells me quite a bit about this cigar. Wow. That spice. Oh, man. That spice. The spice on the retrohale is definitely present, and it lingers in the nostrils quite a bit. But I'm really enjoying this so far, and I'm really happy. Again, if you guys are near a TAA shop and they have this, you owe it to yourself to give it a shot. So why don't we now go ahead and pivot to the first bit of news that I wanted to talk about. There was an announcement that came from the PCA show in Vegas going on right now. And again, like I said, got a nice big case of FOMO from not having gone out to PCA this year. But, for a lot of reasons, financials being the top one, it just didn't work out for me this year. But hopefully next year I can make it work. This year, though, they are in Las Vegas in July. Next year, they are still in Las Vegas. However, they will be in Las Vegas March the 22nd through the 25th. This is where the news comes in. It was announced that PCA 2025 will be held in New Orleans on April 11th through the 14th of that year. A lot of people... It seems like there's some excitement about the idea of it switching to New Orleans. Going to be held in April, which is a month later than next year. So, that's not bad. I mean, if it settles in April and whatnot, I don't think that's a bad choice necessarily. I'm going to say this, and this is potentially a hot take. Some folks may agree with me on this. Some folks may disagree with me on this, but this is where I come down on this decision. I don't like New Orleans. I just don't like New Orleans. I've gone to the city. I've been there. There's it's not like I've never been, but it's just not my favorite place. April, at least, will not be like ridiculously hot and humid and gross. It should be pleasant there weather-wise, I would anticipate in April. But the city itself, I'm just not a fan. I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it in any sort of derogatory, Katrina joke kind of way or anything like that. But it's a city that feels like it needs a bath. It needs a shower. It's just dirty. Like, I'm not a fan of that city. It feels like I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. So am I excited about PCA moving to New Orleans in April of 2015 or 2025? No, I'm not particularly. I wish they would have gone elsewhere. I'm all for them taking it out of Vegas. Leave Vegas, let Vegas lie for a little while. Tampa, I feel like would have been an amazing option. I feel like Tampa would have been a great option. Again, I keep going back to what was said, and I believe 2020, somebody with PCA mentioned that they talked with Indianapolis. I would have loved Indianapolis. There has been some rumor of maybe St. Louis. Obviously, I'd have been in favor of that. I mean, my God, it's my backyard. But, I just... I'm not a fan of New Orleans. If they would have said Chicago, I would not have been a fan of that either. I'm not a fan of Chicago. There are just some cities that you've been to that you're just not. I'm not a fan of Seattle. I hate Seattle. I hate Seattle. Hate Seattle so much. I'm not a fan of Seattle. I have never dealt with more pretentious, uppity people than when I was in Seattle, and the weather was horrific. The only time I saw the sun was the last day when I was heading to the airport. I didn't like Seattle at all. So apologies to those of you who live in Seattle, Chicago, and New Orleans. I hate your cities. So it is what it is. But anyway, that was the big news that came out of that. I do think it's good that they're shifting to April, so they're not right on the, it gives a little bit of space in between TPE and PCA for those companies that do both. But I am not the biggest fan of the location. But you know what? They didn't confer with me, and evidently my opinion doesn't matter. So, I don't know why I'm even discussing it, but... Anyway, I just wanted to let you all know that that was one bit of big news. Now, in terms of other news coming from PCA, I have a man on the show floor going around, and he is gathering up his notes and taking in the show and kind of getting his thoughts and opinions all gathered and ready for me. And I will be having him on Friday's show. A friend of the show, Ken Clarich, who owns Ashes and Ale. I always screw this up. Can't escape out of that because I need that. And let's just do a quick Google search here. It's Ash and Ale Lounge in Palm Coast, Florida. Ken Clarich, who owns Ash and Ale, he is at the PCA right now. He is going around booth to booth and buying up stock for his shop. He's meeting people. He's having a great time. He met up with Renee from Villiger the other day. He actually reached out to me and was like, hey, can you message Renee and let him know I'm going to be at the booth? And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I can. So, we made that happen. But I know that Ken is going around meeting everybody, getting cigars, and having a great time. But he is going to come on to the show on Friday with me and discuss his thoughts on PCA 2023, highlights, lowlights, what he saw that excited him, things of that nature, and we'll kind of go from there. So you have that to look forward to on Friday's show. So I'm not going to get into all of the different, PCA-related things that I've seen this week. I mean, there's been some cigars that have caught my interest. Seems like everybody is doing Sumatra. Like, everybody is doing Sumatra. And I don't know if that's, because that's the cigar, the tobacco that's available or what. But, the cigar industry got the memo, and they are doing Sumatra. So, we got that going on. But hopefully some will be better than others, I'm sure. But, there's that. Expensive cigars are definitely happening, too. You've got... the $300 Oliva, you've got the $100 Unicorn from Dunbarton, you've got the $100, I mean, that's been around before, but still, you've got a $100 cigar coming from Rocky Patella, I think I heard somewhere. So, expensive cigars are around, but there's also some nice affordable ones, too, that people need to look into. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll get into all this on Friday's show. Today, before we get into the regular segments, I wanted to touch on a news article that crossed my desk, and it's been reported on a number of sites But it actually started, I guess, as a TikTok video. There's a woman who, I guess this was early July. I mean, the article's dated July 3rd, but I don't know exactly when the video was put out. She was on a, sorry, I got to keep the cigar going here, guys. It is a cigar podcast, even though I'm about to talk about something really weird. There's a woman on an American Airlines jet who had a meltdown over what she called an imaginary passenger. And in this video, she storms up the aisle and she's yelling. She says, quote, "I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. You can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to." The long and short of it is she apparently thought that this was an imaginary, for some reason, she thought it was an imaginary passenger. And she had to, she had to get off. She was not going to sit next to him. She was not going to be on the plane with him, whatever. And she flipped out. The TikTok user who posted the video claimed that the woman did not get arrested and got back through security after the whole plane had to deplane. So apparently, I guess they had to deplane, in order to get this woman taken care of. So there's that going on. But now there's other thoughts on this. And one of them, I guess, here's another article about it. And she was getting ready to depart the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on Sunday, July 2nd, 2023. The long and short of it is people are speculating. They're speculating that this person, this imaginary passenger that she was next to, may have been a reptilian shapeshifter. Now, this article says that it's a fictitious character or creature able to change its physical form at will, change its body and pose as a human, not the novel one. It's been, part of pop culture and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, people are alleging that maybe she was sat next to a reptilian shapeshifter, reptile man, and that maybe she was able to briefly see past his facade of a normal human being and do that. They said that the woman in question did not seem drunk. That was quoted in this article. But yeah, so for what it is, there's that thought. Now, representative from American Airlines confirmed the incident, stated that after getting off the aircraft, the lady left the airport without incident. And that's a quote. However, the identity of the woman is still undetermined, and many are wondering what happened to her. The reptile people have her. Let's be real. That's what happened to her. The reptile people got her because, they realized that she saw past their facade, and that cannot be allowed. You cannot let humans see past the reptilian facade. And that leads us into today's Villiger Entertainment Report, brought to you by Villiger Cigars. And as I'm here trying desperately to keep my Villiger TAA 2023 going as I talk, you guys need to look into Villiger Cigars. They are available. They're available at a number of brick-and-mortar shops around the country. You can go to their website, check out their store locator to see where near you can get Villiger cigars. And you're going to want to. That 1888 Nicaragua that I smoked on the last show that is premiering at the PCA trade show right now, fantastic cigar. Really, really enjoyed it. Digging the hell out of this TAA 2023. The La Libertad is one of my favorite go-tos that they put out. They have some really great cigars, so you're going to want to try Villiger cigars. And like I said, head on over to the website, check their store locator, figure out where they're at, and get you some, because you're gonna thank yourself. You're really gonna thank yourself. So this is the point in the show when I discuss entertainment. items, be it shows, movies, books, podcasts, whatever, that have caught my interest. And that news article got me thinking. I just started watching Secret Invasion over on Disney Plus. It's the new Marvel show on Disney Plus. It has Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. He's back, and there's a conspiracy where the shape-shifting Skrull aliens have started taking over the world in secret by impersonating human beings. And basically, there's an invasion going on. We're just behind the game. And it makes you wonder. If maybe this woman on this American Airlines flight saw a reptile man that has maybe taken over a human being here in our world. Because, I was talking with somebody over at Santino's the other day, and we were discussing aliens and this sort of thing. And one of the things that popped up was that it does feel like the government has kind of been admitting more and more that there's some truth. You're seeing videos from Air Force pilots. You're seeing cockpits and things of that nature. You're seeing evidence. NASA's looking into some stuff. Congress is looking into things. There's a little bit more starting to trickle out, and it makes you wonder if the government has known about the existence of these aliens for quite some time, and they're just now trickling it out because they know they can't just dump it out there. They can't just say, hey guys, by the way, we've known for 50 years that there's aliens. Here's all the proof, because it'll create mass panic. So what do? We trickle it out very slowly, get people used to the idea so that when it finally does come about, then it's like, no big deal, And I think, it's safe to say that Hollywood is part of this. There's a lot that you could argue that Hollywood has done to kind of seed the cloud a little bit. So maybe the Secret Invasion show is to showcase that, you know what, there are reptile people out there in the world, and maybe you might be sitting one on an American Airlines flight. I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. The person that I was talking to at Santino's pointed out that what happens in all these disaster movies, all the rich people get together in a rocket and they blow, zoom off into space to go find the next home, while we poor people are left behind on Earth to fend for ourselves as our planet dies. And he pointed out, what's Elon Musk doing? Building a city on Mars. Oh yeah, and he's also got his rocket ship company. And oh yeah, Jeff Bezos has his penis rocket that he's flying rich people into space with. So maybe, just maybe, the rich people have been getting us ready through Hollywood to say they're going to abandon us, So maybe that's what's going on. I don't know, but it's an interesting thought. Anyway, but that show's been entertaining. I've been a little off on the Marvel products lately. Truthfully, I made fun of Jeff about it. After Endgame, the quality kind of did dip a little bit, and I'm kind of, I've done, some of them's been okay. I haven't, there's been a few movies I haven't watched. There's been a handful of the TV shows I haven't watched. The Secret Invasion show is the first time I've kind of dipped back into those waters. I have a fucking semi-truck going down my street. What is this? I live in a residential... Anyway, whatever. What else have I been watching? Oh, Righteous Gemstones. I caught up on Righteous Gemstones. I watched all of Season 2, and I am now caught up on Season 3. I just watched, actually, the most recent episode earlier today. So I'm 100% caught up on Righteous Gemstones. Season 2 was, I think, was really good. I liked it probably a little better than Season 1. Season 3, so far, hasn't hooked me in quite as well as Season 2 did. Season 2 was just so good. Season 3 it's been all right. Steve Zahn is in Season 3, and it's kind of nice seeing him. I haven't seen him in a lot of things lately. I mean, realistically, he was in a ton of stuff in the early 2000s, and then it seems like Steve Zahn just kind of disappeared. And so it's kind of nice to see Steve Zahn back in something. So that's been good. What else have I been watching? Oh, I watched a documentary that I want to talk to you guys about. It's a 3-part documentary done by ABC News. It's on Hulu, and it's called The Ashley Madison Affair. And it's all about the website Ashley Madison. And for those of you who don't know, I don't know how you don't, but maybe you're more innocent than some of the rest of us. Ashley Madison is essentially a dating site, but it's designed for people that want to have an extramarital affair. And their whole thing was, they'll keep it quiet, blah, 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 super private and whatever. And, of course, what ended up happening was somebody hacked Ashley Madison, got all their user data, told Ashley Madison, take the website down in 30 days or we're going to release everything. And, surprise, they didn't do it. And so they released all of the data on all of the customers of Ashley Madison. That's how Josh Duggar got in trouble, because it found out that he was on Ashley Madison. There were other people, that got in trouble. But the long and short of it is ashleymadison.com was hacked. All this user data was put out in the world and whatever. Then it was found out that Ashley Madison was creating fake profiles of women because they had like 24 million men subscribers and like 4 million women. I'm making these numbers up, but it's close, but not exact. Women subscribers. And so, you'd have thousands and thousands of men for every woman that was on that site. And so they were making up fake female profiles in order to, give these guys something to interact with, but obviously you can only interact with them so much, as it's basically a chat bot. And so there was lawsuits and this and that and whatever. Anyway, the bottom line was it was a very interesting documentary on this, and I found it interesting. But one of the things, they're talking about, these poor people whose information was released and this and that and whatever. And I just, for the life of me, I don't know. I don't have pity for anybody that was using Ashley Madison because, it was designed as a website for people to have extramarital affairs. I don't have any pity for anybody that was using that site for that. Additionally, if you're dumb enough to go onto a website and give your information over, be it your email, whatever, even if you're using a fake name, whatever, you're giving over your information to sign up. You're giving over your information to sign up, and then you're using your credit card to buy credits so that you can communicate with people on this website. I do not have pity for you that, your information got disseminated, because the thing about it is, what did you expect? Did you seriously expect that this company was not going to maintain a database of its users? And now this is something that I will say Ashley Madison did that was very unscrupulous. They offered a program where they would I don't remember the term they used, but it was like basically a final deletion. Basically, they'd scrub you completely from their servers for like $20, and they were raking in money off of people, that were paying this $20 to delete their information off their servers. I don't know if they actually even did it, truthfully. It didn't sound like in the documentary they actually were even doing that. So that's pretty shitty of them. If you're going to promise a service of deleting this information, then you need to do it. But anyway, it was an interesting documentary, one that I think posed some moral questions about, who the real victims are and blah, 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 and everything else. It was interesting. And it was interesting for me as somebody who's been on the dating apps too, because what's funny is, so Ashley Madison came out before, Tinder and all these dating apps and everything, right? And now you go on these dating apps, and the shit you see on these dating apps, I mean, you've got the polyamorous and the ethically non-monogamous folks on there, where they're on there and they're saying, in a happy relationship, looking for a side something or other. You've got couples that are on there looking for a third or another couple to join them. I mean, it's very interesting. in that Ashley Madison kind of like rose as this spot to have extramarital affairs, and it marketed itself like that. Whereas if they just would have maybe just been, but maybe if they were just another dating site, they wouldn't have gotten the kind of attention they wanted and the traffic they wanted. But the bottom line is that, like, all that shit finds you anyway, you know? So, like, why do you have to market yourself just for that little segment of the audience? You know, I don't know. But anyway, you see some fucked up stuff on the dating apps, and to be honest, Ashley Madison kind of seems a little tame in comparison now that having watched that documentary and everything. I mean, it's like I could find some really messed up stuff on Tinder right now if I wanted to. Don't want to, but could. So anyway, whatever. So that's been the Villiger Entertainment Report. That's what I've been watching is Secret Invasion, Righteous Gemstones, and I watched that Ashley Madison affair documentary. So now, why don't we go ahead and jump into this?
We all need to live united, but one must go. Brought to you by United Cigars, makers of La Giana Havana, Abuelo, Red Anchor, Firecracker, and of course, United Cigars. Distributors of Jose Dominguez, Garofalo, Montosa, and Terra Nova, and the highly acclaimed Atabey, Byron, and Bandolero. Buy United, Smoke United, Live United, United Cigars.
Okay, so I'm going to use... it's going to be a little different today. I through scrolling to this weekend, I found a little moral conundrum that I wanted to use in the One Must Go. And it's called the trolley problem. It's an ethical dilemma by a woman named Philippa Foote. And the problem states, a runaway train is speeding down the track. There are 5 people on the track up ahead. The only thing you can do is throw a switch that moves the train onto another line. Unfortunately, that line also has somebody on it. So you have 2 options. Option A, you can do nothing, and 5 people will die, but you could have saved them. Option B, throw the switch, 1 person will die, but you most definitely killed them because you threw the switch to make it go onto their line instead of the other one. So which do you choose? And this is one of those ones where, you know, you have to wrestle with the good of the many outweigh the good of the few, or, you know, is it a situation where you can tell yourself that if you do nothing, then I wasn't involved, I didn't get involved, and, you know, can you wrestle with taking those five victims, you know, off of your back if that's your mindset. I don't know. It was an interesting question and one that I think is worth exploring a little bit. So I may bring this up as a future One Must Go for other people when I have other guests on and things like that, because I think it does kind of, you know, reveal a little bit of the inner mindset. But I think if I had that choice and I were in that position, and option A was to do nothing and let 5 people die that I could have saved, or option B is to do something, flip the switch, and it will guarantee that the 1 person on that other line will die. The unfortunate fact is, I think for that 1 person, I think they're hosed, because I think I would go with saving the 5 people over the 1. It's just, it sucks. It's a no-win situation. What I think in this case, the good of the many outweigh the good of the few, and you do what you can to save. You know, you essentially have 6 people to save. Do you save 1 or do you save 5? And I think the answer is you save 5, and, you know, hope that you can live with yourself for the 1. But that's kind of where I fall on that. Where do you guys fall? You know, maybe this is something you could bring up in your phone calls. Ask the boys. I do need your phone calls for that. That's coming up near the end of the month. Area code 863-874-0000. Not quite sure who's going to be on with me yet. Mr. Jonathan is always invited back if he would so choose. But I'll have somebody. I know I'll have somebody on with me. Yeah, so make sure you get your phone calls in for Ask the Boys, area code 863-874-0000. And that's been this episode's One Must Go.
The One Must Go segment was brought to you by United Cigars. United we smoke.
Okay. So I've been smoking very slow because obviously I'm talking, but I'm probably I'm getting closer to the end of the first third on this Villiger TAA 2023. And it's just a fantastic cigar. It truly is. I cannot say enough about the construction of this thing. I've had to kind of touch up the light on it a little bit, only because I've been talking so much and I've been kind of letting it go. But realistically, the smoke production on it's great. The draw on it's great. The constructions on it is great. Flavor-wise, I am getting that spices on the retrohale. On the actual drawing experience, it is kind of a nutty component to the actual cigar. The flavor on the cigar, it's a medium-bodied cigar, I would say. It's not super light, but it's definitely not anything oppressive or heavy that would be too much for somebody to try. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying. This is a very wonderful cigar, and I'm thankful to Renee for sending me some samples. I'm thankful to the fine folks at Villiger for partnering with Aganorsa Leaf to make this. Thankful to Aganorsa Leaf for partnering with them for making it. I mean, it's one of those things that sometimes when these partnerships come along, they sing, and this is one that really does sing really, really well. So why don't we now learn a little bit about My Monthly Cigars. This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping on your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks. And guys, don't forget about fucking good coffee. When you're over there at My Monthly Cigars, make sure you try the fucking good coffee. He's got the lounge blend. He's got the Pulpit daily press. There's a lot of other really great flavors. I know the guys at the Smokin' Butts and Tappin' Ash, they tried the bourbon barrel aged coffee this weekend and really, really enjoyed it. And there's just some really great blends over there at Fucking Good Coffee. So make sure you try that as well. That's Fucking Good, F-A-H, King, good.coffee or goodcoffee.com. And but then, like I said, it's also available on mymonthlycigars.com. So you can go there, get your cigars and your coffee, and everybody's happy. Anyway, so yeah, coming up on the show on Friday, King Clarich from Ash and Ale. He's going to be joining me to discuss the PCA trade show. Then coming up after that, we should have the July My Monthly Cigars box. Gotta get that in and open that. I should have that in hand in the next couple of days. And then from there, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens from there. I know post-PCA, a lot of people get really busy because reps and manufacturers and everybody, they hit the road, and they schedule a lot of store appearances at these trade shows. And so I know that they, hit the road and they get going with stuff and sales and everything. So, we'll see what happens. But, coming up, I know I'm going to have more great guests and more great content for you guys. I'm trying. It's It's been an interesting couple of months. Let's put it that way. Trying to get everything, in line and put together and all that, but definitely trying. So anyway, and to be fair, there's been a lot of listeners that have reached out and have offered to come on. It's not that I'm not interested in having listeners join me. Obviously, I've had a few. It really does come down to coordination and schedule. Specifically, I am a busy guy, and so I fit the recordings in. Oftentimes, it's not that I have a set recording day and time. That's something that was a bone of contention. But, it's one of those things where, you fit this in where you can, as long as you get it done before the deadline, meaning Tuesdays and Fridays, you fit it in where you can. And sometimes that can be difficult to do when you're coordinating with people. So, it's just something that has to be done. But anyway, no, but I know there's been a number of listeners. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think Seth offered, Bears offered, Luke has offered, Teddy. There's been a number of guys that I know have stepped up and said that they'd be willing to come on and join me on the show. So, we'll have some of that. We used to do the listener interaction Tuesdays, and at this point, it's less formal than that. That was like the last Tuesday of every month we had a listener on kind of thing. This would be a little less formal than that. It'd be basically like, when can you do it and when can we make it happen? So, we'll figure that out. But anyway, final thoughts on the Villiger TAA 2023. I'm really enjoying this cigar. It's just been a real treat to smoke. Thankfully, I have another couple in the house that I can enjoy, and we'll go from there. One of the things that I don't know. I have some thoughts. I have some things cooking that would be fun to do. It really does come down to time more than anything. Specifically having the time to do it. But I'm hoping that a side project that I've got going on now, I can pivot and use for this to where I can get you guys a little bit more content in a different kind of format, so that there's a little bit more coming out of Camp Pulpit. But we'll talk more about that at a later date. But anyway, in the meantime, you can reach out to us and follow us on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. You can join up the Cigar Pulpit Parishioners group on Facebook. It's a fun group. A lot of people in there sharing what cigars they're smoking. The Pulpit Parishioners group chat on the Facebook Messenger has been really active lately. That's been a lot of fun. There's Twitter, where I don't really do much of anything, but probably should at some point or another. YouTube, where you can watch this. And then, again, do need your calls for Ask the Boys. Area code 863-874-0000. And you can give us a call and get in on the show. That it would be typically the last show of the month for those purposes. But I think last month it was the second to last show. It was when Mr. Jonathan and Trey Mack were available to record. So anyway, get your calls in so that we can get those answered, and we'll go from there. Anyway, I don't think there's much else. And, I'd say that if you're going to be taking a flight anywhere anytime soon, make sure you're sitting next to a real person, not an imaginary person or a reptile man. And otherwise, keep it safe. If you're at the PCA show and you have some thoughts about the show, give us a call at the hotline. Leave us a message there talking about the show. Again, area code 863-874-0000. And, I'd like to know, I'd like other, lots of opinions on that. That would be good. And then let me know your thoughts on the train dilemma, if you would let 1 or 5 people die. Anyway, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit, and I'm Nick. Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. and I need to get new intro music because apparently my new intro music is being used by somebody else already, and I didn't realize that, and so now I got to find new intro music. But I'll take care of that later. So anyway, sorry, Abe. Talk to you guys. Bye.